Imagine a machine so expensive that each one costs more than the GDP of 75 countries. So deadly that a single aircraft can carry enough firepower to level entire cities. So advanced that it remains virtually invisible to the most sophisticated radar systems on Earth. So rare that only 21 exist in the entire world, making them more exclusive than the rarest supercars, most precious diamonds, or even space shuttles. This isn't science fiction. This is the Northrop Grumman B-2 Spirit, America's $2.2 billion per unit messenger of doom that has redefined the very concept of strategic warfare. When military analysts describe the B-2 Spirit, they don't use typical aircraft terminology. They speak in hushed tones about penetrating contested airspace, strategic deterrence, and global reach. What they're really describing is humanity's most sophisticated instrument of destruction. A flying weapon so advanced that its mere existence has prevented wars, toppled governments, and reshaped global power dynamics for over 3 decades. The B-2's origin story reads like a Cold War thriller scripted by Tom Clancy. In the early 1980s, as Ronald Reagan's military buildup reached fever pitch, American defense planners faced a terrifying reality. Soviet air defenses had become so sophisticated that traditional bombers were essentially flying coffins. The Soviets had deployed thousands of surface-to-air missiles, advanced fighter interceptors, and radar networks so dense that military strategists called penetrating them flying through a buzzsaw. The Pentagon's response was audacious beyond comprehension. Build an aircraft so stealthy it could fly through the heart of Soviet airspace undetected, so survivable it could complete its mission even in World War III, and so devastating that its payload could single-handedly cripple an entire nation's military infrastructure. The project that emerged would consume $44 billion in development costs, more than the Manhattan Project adjusted for inflation. What emerged from Northrop's secretive facilities in the Mojave Desert wasn't just an aircraft. It was a technological revolution wrapped in radar-absorbing materials and powered by 4 engines that could push 170,000 pounds of destruction across 6,000 miles without refueling. The B-2 Spirit looked like nothing that had ever flown before, a flying wing designed so radical that it seemed borrowed from alien technology. Understanding how the B-2 achieves stealth requires grasping concepts that sound like science fiction. The aircraft's entire design philosophy revolves around controlling electromagnetic signatures, essentially making a massive bomber disappear from radar screens by manipulating how radio waves interact with its surface. The B-2's radar cross-section, the measurement of how detectable an aircraft is to radar, is classified, but defense experts estimate it's roughly equivalent to a large bird. Think about that for a moment. A 172-foot wingspan aircraft weighing 170,000 pounds appears on radar screens with the same signature as a pelican. This isn't achieved through a single technology, but through an intricate symphony of advanced materials, precise geometric design, and electromagnetic engineering that represents the pinnacle of human technological achievement. The aircraft's skin contains radar-absorbing materials, RAM, that convert radar energy into heat, dissipating it harmlessly rather than reflecting it back to enemy receivers. Its flying wing design eliminates vertical surfaces that create strong radar returns. Even the engine intakes are designed with serpentine ducts that hide the spinning turbine blades from radar detection. Every rivet, seam, and surface angle has been calculated to minimize electromagnetic reflection. But stealth technology extends beyond radar evasion. The B-2's engines are designed to minimize infrared signature, mixing hot exhaust with cool air to reduce heat-seeking missile detection. Its acoustic signature is managed through engine placement and airframe design that reduces the sound footprint. The aircraft literally attacks multiple spectrums of detection simultaneously. Here's where the story becomes truly chilling. The B-2 isn't just invisible. It's a flying weapons platform capable of delivering destruction that defies comprehension. The aircraft's internal weapons bays can accommodate 40,000 pounds of ordnance, enough firepower to flatten military installations, command centers, and critical infrastructure across vast geographic areas. But it's not just the quantity that's terrifying. It's the precision and variety of destruction the B-2 can deliver. The B-2 can carry 16 B-83 nuclear bombs, each with a yield of 1.2 megatons. roughly 80 times more powerful than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. A single B-2 could theoretically carry enough nuclear firepower to destroy 16 major cities, ending millions of lives and rendering vast areas uninhabitable for generations. The aircraft serves as America's most potent nuclear delivery system, capable of penetrating the most sophisticated air defenses to deliver strategic nuclear weapons with pinpoint accuracy. For conventional warfare, the B-2's payload options read like a catalog of military devastation. It can carry 8,500-pound bombs, 16 2,000-pound bombs, or various combinations of precision-guided munitions, including the massive 30,000-pound massive ordnance penetrator, a bunker-busting weapon specifically designed to destroy underground facilities buried hundreds of feet beneath the surface. The aircraft's precision is as remarkable as its payload capacity. Using GPS-guided weapons, the B-2 can place multiple bombs within feet of their intended targets from altitudes exceeding 50,000 feet. This combination of stealth, range, payload, and precision creates a weapon system that can effectively decapitate enemy command structures, destroy critical infrastructure, and eliminate strategic targets with surgical precision, all while remaining essentially invisible to enemy defenses. The B-2's unit cost of $2.2 billion makes it the most expensive military aircraft ever built, but understanding this price tag requires examining what you're actually purchasing. This isn't just an airplane. It's a complete technological ecosystem that represents the cutting edge of multiple scientific disciplines. The aircraft's stealth technology required developing entirely new materials, manufacturing processes, and design methodologies. The radar-absorbing materials alone cost millions per aircraft and require specialized facilities for application. The precision manufacturing tolerances needed to maintain stealth characteristics are measured in fractions of millimeters across the entire airframe. The B-2's avionics suite represents a technological marvel that integrates radar, electronic warfare systems, communications, navigation, and weapons delivery into a seamless whole. The aircraft's computers process massive amounts of data in real time, managing everything from stealth optimization to weapons targeting, while the crew focuses on mission execution. Perhaps most significantly, the B-2 program's limited production run of 21 aircraft meant that development costs had to be amortized across a tiny fleet. The research and development investment that created the B-2 could have justified building hundreds of aircraft, but post-Cold War budget constraints and changing strategic priorities limited production to just 21 units. The B-2's first combat deployment during the Kosovo conflict in 1999 announced to the world that warfare had fundamentally changed. Flying from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, a round trip of over 30 hours, B-2 struck targets in Yugoslavia with an effectiveness that stunned military observers worldwide. The aircraft's ability to fly directly from the continental United States to deliver precision strikes anywhere in the world without forward basing represented a revolution in strategic thinking. Traditional military planning required months of buildup, forward deployment of aircraft and personnel, and complex logistics chains. The B-2 compressed this timeline to hours, flying directly from home base to target and back without requiring overseas facilities, refueling stops, or support infrastructure. During the early phases of Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2003, B-2s delivered some of the conflict's most critical strikes, targeting leadership facilities and command centers with precision that eliminated key enemy capabilities while minimizing collateral damage. The psychological impact was as significant as the physical destruction. Enemy forces faced the reality that nowhere was safe from American precision strikes. The aircraft's operational flexibility became apparent during the 2011 Libya intervention, where B-2s flew from Missouri to destroy Libyan air defense systems, opening corridors for conventional aircraft to operate safely. This capability to suppress enemy air defenses from intercontinental range gives American military planners options that no other nation possesses. But here's the truly fascinating aspect that military strategists rarely discuss publicly. The B-2's greatest weapon isn't its bombs. It's the fear it instills in potential adversaries. The knowledge that 21 virtually undetectable aircraft can appear anywhere in the world within hours, carrying enough firepower to cripple military infrastructure or level cities, fundamentally alters strategic calculations for every potential adversary. Military planners in Moscow, Beijing, Tehran, and Pyongyang must assume that their most critical facilities, command centers, nuclear installations, leadership bunkers, are vulnerable to B-2 strikes that could come without warning. This strategic uncertainty forces adversaries to invest massive resources in air defense systems that may or may not be effective against stealth technology. It compels them to disperse critical assets, harden facilities, and maintain redundant systems, all at enormous cost and reduced efficiency. The B-2 essentially forces potential enemies to spend billions defending against a threat they cannot reliably detect or counter. The aircraft's mere existence has prevented conflicts by making the cost of confrontation with the United States potentially catastrophic. When military planners consider challenging American interests, they must factor in the possibility that their entire military infrastructure could be eliminated in a single night by aircraft they cannot see coming. The pilots who fly B-2s undergo years of specialized training and represent the elite of military aviation. They must master not just conventional flying skills, but also stealth operations, electronic warfare, and precision weapons delivery across intercontinental distances. The psychological demands are equally challenging. Flying 30-hour missions alone in the cockpit requires mental fortitude that few possess. As potential adversaries develop more sophisticated detection technologies, the B-2 continues evolving to maintain its edge. Ongoing modernization programs upgrade the aircraft's defensive systems, weapons compatibility, and electronic warfare capabilities. New radar-absorbing materials provide enhanced stealth characteristics, while improved avionics increase operational flexibility and target engagement capabilities. The development of hypersonic weapons and advanced cruise missiles gives the B-2 new strike options that extend its reach and lethality. These weapons allow the aircraft to engage targets from hundreds of miles away, further reducing detection risks while maintaining devastating effectiveness. Perhaps most significantly, the B-2 program's lessons learned are being incorporated into the next-generation B-21 Raider program, which will eventually replace the aging B-2 fleet with even more advanced capabilities. The institutional knowledge gained from 3 decades of stealth bomber operations ensures that America will maintain its edge in strategic aviation for decades to come. The B-2 fleet represents more than military hardware. It embodies American technological supremacy and strategic reach in ways that fundamentally shape international relations. The aircraft serves as a visible reminder that the United States possesses capabilities that no other nation can match, creating a strategic environment where direct military confrontation with America becomes almost unthinkable. This strategic advantage extends beyond military considerations into diplomatic and economic realms. Nations that might otherwise challenge American interests must carefully calculate whether their objectives are worth risking the potential consequences of B-2 strikes. The aircraft's existence creates space for diplomacy by making the costs of military alternatives prohibitively high. The most remarkable aspect of the B-2 program may be this. In an era where military conflicts increasingly dominate headlines, the world's most powerful weapon has helped prevent the very wars it was designed to fight. By making the consequences of great power conflict too terrible to contemplate, these 21 invisible giants have paradoxically become instruments of peace through strength. The B-2 Spirit stands as humanity's most sophisticated expression of military technology, a $44 billion investment in the proposition that overwhelming technological superiority can deter conflicts before they begin. Whether this investment ultimately serves peace or merely postpones larger conflicts remains one of the great strategic questions of our time. In the end, the B-2 represents both the pinnacle of human technological achievement and a sobering reminder of our capacity for destruction. These 21 aircraft, sleeping in their climate-controlled hangars in Missouri, carry with them the power to reshape civilizations and the responsibility to ensure that power is never needed. In a world where the stakes of conflict have never been higher, America's invisible armada of B-2 spirits stands ready to deliver consequences too terrible to ignore and too final to undo.